The following program is sponsored by The Greek, Ely's Radio Shack dealer at 570 Altman in downtown Ely, and brought to you as a public service by Georgetown Media in Ely, Nevada. White Pine County Tourism Recreation Board meeting, September 27th, 2022.
Things to do, maybe something during the winter that we could do in the Blue Building or something small. But, you know.
When you guys travel around, what pieces do you take with you to talk about what you do up here? You know, would it benefit if we did a printed piece that you could have that would have all of next year's events on it, and info that you, when you go down to these other events or travel this winter or whatever, that you would have those to hand out?
Yeah, definitely. I think especially, you know, the rodeo community, there's a lot of word of mouth still. All those people don't have any social media, and so it's kind of a hands-on text message. I have group texts you just send out all the time, and people text me theirs and vice versa. The motorcycle community is one that we try to get in with the coyotes quite a bit and get them engaged and work with them as they go around and put out flyers for us and that kind of stuff on their other events. However, if we did that a little bit earlier and even got to some of the races, I think it would enhance what we would have to come up here. I think part of the reason the motorcycles have kind of hit off this year, maybe and it was as good as it was last year. I think we were real similar, got definitely a bigger crowd to watch. We were expecting a few more entries, but a lot of those guys said that just travel was hard this year with $5 a gallon diesel, $6 a gallon diesel, and everything was just kind of at the point where nothing really peaked out and people weren't used to it, and everybody's going to tighten their belts to see how far it's going to go. I think that was the reason, which we were as big as we were last year, but we was hoping to be a little bit bigger, and we dang sure were attendance-wise, but not contestant-wise.
So are you thinking of a save the date rag card?
Yeah, I think like if you guys have,
It's an addition.
if you have your specific dates,
Yeah.
you know, for next year already set, you know, we can plug those into, you know, something they can hang on the fridge and get it into their hands as early as possible. Something you could mail easily.
It would just be
You know,
White Pine Production.
Yeah, it would be a White Pine Productions piece, but we would go ahead and we'd work with you on designing it. And even if you didn't have I think it would be good to have the dates, but even if it was just annually in June, annually in July, you know.
Right.
And who to contact.
Yeah, we'll start getting our schedules together and figuring everything out. And the motorcycle rodeo and the team roping school are always the same time. So's the ranch rodeo during the fair. So his roping schedule will depend on other ropings and other things going on. So they try to be in between, and so everybody can attend everything.
Well, the more we have dates, the better.
Yeah,
For people, but that would be a good, I think the Rodders have a grant that we're going to be doing a save the date card for the Rodders. Because they really did well this year.
Oh, good.
And it was a great event for them.
But it was one of those things where they travel around to other car shows, and a lot of it's word of mouth, and so we kind of were like, well, you need something to take with you. So that's where I was like, do you need something to take with you guys?
So
Yeah.
great.
Cool.
Yeah.
We'll get with you as soon as we start getting our ducks in a row.
Cool.
So,
Cool, and we got some pictures from this year's event, so we should have, between all of us, we should have some good content to put on that postcard.
okay. Yeah, I'd like to get with you on those pictures too, because they opened up a Facebook thing that Lori takes care of.
Okay.
So we just try to put all the events on there as we
Okay.
go to.
That would be great.
And the pictures afterwards.
Cool.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Anything else you can think of that how we can help?
No, thank you guys. You've done great. We sure
Yeah.
appreciate everything.
Oh,
Our
well,
support.
You guys do great. Thanks for giving us such great events to market and promote, and,
Okay.
you know.
You've grown
keep it
beyond
up.
belief.
Well, we'll be bothering you again.
Cool. Look forward to it.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Thank you. You're welcome to stay.
Okay.
All right, we're going to move on to item 5, action items. Discussion for possible action to approve the agenda, including removal of agenda items. Do we have any corrections or changes, removals? None? I'll entertain a motion to accept the agenda as posted.
I'll move to approve.
Thank you.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you. It's been moved and approved, or moved and seconded to approve the posted agenda. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Me. I'm an aye, by the way. Okay, discussion and for possible action to approve the minutes of August 23, 2022. And they're in your packet. did have a really nice presentation last time from the Rogers Club too, so I like this new format.
That's
It's
good.
great. Any corrections of the minutes? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve
Make the motion.
and entertain a second.
I'll second.
Second.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. New business, discussion and for possible action. Approval to ratify payment of bills. And I want to disclose that I have an interest in Bath Lumber. And so we separate the Bath Lumber check out. And so we'll be voting on all the bills excluding Bath Lumber at this time. If you have the list of payables, I've gone through the whole list and checked them off today, so, but if you have any questions, please speak up. Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the ratification of the payment of bills.
I'll move to approve.
A second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
Are we deducting the,
Oh, I need the amount, sorry. You move it with, Kurt, if you'll do it, the checks, 110292 through 11143 excluding 11109. It's easy for me to say, huh?
Perfect, I'll move to approve checks 11092 through 1143, excluding check number 1109.
Okay, I believe we had the motion by, your motion by Kurt and then second again by Brian. Okay, any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And I am an aye also in this one. Second one is Bath Lumber. Number 2, again, I'll be abstaining.
I'll make a motion to approve the check for Bath Lumber. It's check number. I can search what it is.
It's,
11109
in the amount
for
of,
$978.45.
thank you. Here a second?
I'll second.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? And I will abstain. Thank you. Number 3, approval of letter of support for Ely Shoshone Tribe Cedar Swamp Monument proposal. And it's my pleasure to welcome Monty Sanford, who is the consultant on the Sacred Waters Valley, Bashawabi. And Monty, can you get your camera on?
Yeah, I'm working on it slowly here, so, there we go.
There we are.
Thank you, Chairwoman, appreciate that. Would you like me to give the board a short introduction about this national monument?
Yes,
please?
Okay. Well, maybe I'll give you just a quick background on how this began, and I think that this effort to protect swamp cedars or Bashawabi, which is go-to or Shoshone language for the Sacred Water Valley. This really started as an effort, a few decades ago, because there were certain things that kind of threatened that area, and the tribes have become more and more willing to share the stories of what happened there at Swamp Cedars with the general public. And what happened there were 3 separate massacres. So there was, 3 separate massacres that occurred during times of their annual religious gatherings at the site. And because of that, that's a very special, very sacred, very holy place to the tribes. And not only Ely tribes, but Duckwater and the Confederated Go-Shoes and other tribes in the area. About a year and a half ago, we worked with the Nevada legislature to pass a resolution. They passed a resolution to support the National Monument effort, and that vote in the Nevada Senate was unanimous. It was bipartisan support as well. And then following that, we developed a National Monument proposal that essentially includes roughly 25,000 acres of that Swamp Cedar area north place also to tell the story of, the tribe's history and their heritage in the area. What else could I tell you?
So,
Maybe
Monty,
Yeah.
when, do you know offhand the years of the massacres?
Yeah, 1859, 1863, 1897. And I'm sorry, I haven't looked at those numbers for a while, but I'm fairly sure that those are correct.
So where are you at in the process of getting this designated as a landmark?
Yeah, we're kind of going through the whole process of just having right discussions with folks, reaching out to the local community. We've been having discussions with landowners in Spring Valley, reaching out to White Pine County and just the folks in the area just to see if, we can get support. And, the tribes want to make sure that there is support for this, and there's a strong sense that there's a big story to tell here and a lot of interest, not only in the local community but statewide and nationally as well. So we're going through that process of having these discussions with local communities and local property owners, but also the federal agencies that are going to be involved in this as well.
So if I'm understanding it correctly, it's BLM land.
Currently, yes.
And have you gotten approval from the state BLM and federal?
Yes, we've had a strong commitment that they support this.
And so would it be part of Great Basin National Park, or?
No, it would not be part of the national park. To have a national park, it's legislation. A national monument is managed and just handled differently, but it would be managed by the Park Service.
And who would pay for that?
Who would pay for that?
Yes, the management.
The federal government and the taxpayer.
Okay. And so would you be having static displays as far as telling the history of it, or would there be something that would be like a visitor center?
That's a good question, but I think it's a little too far in advance, like to chart that out, because I think the process would be, if this is approved and this happens, then the Park Service, they would work with the tribes and to figure out what that actually looks like. But I think for the government to spend money and hypothetically take a look at what that looks like right now, I haven't heard that they want to do that. So, and I will also say that the tribes want to get everybody in the circle, so to say. They want to include other people, and so this kind of tourism aspect is they want to be able to share the story with folks, but at the same time, I think there's a little bit of caution of what that's actually going to look like, and I think that's just going to take a fair number of conversations with Park Service and maybe local community to see what that looks like and if it's approved. So.
And if everything goes as planned, when would that be designated? What's your timeline of proposed?
I think we're hoping within 2 years probably.
Great.
There's been a little bit of talk that it could go fairly quickly because it's such a small, extraordinarily small national monument compared to other national monuments. And it's just a really unique type of national monument that's kind of, it's not a big one like a lot of these are these days. And so there is some talk that it could go quickly, but I think realistically it's between, within 2 years. So.
I'd like to open it up for questions from the board. Member Henry, do you have any questions for Monty?
No, but I'm excited about it. I think this is something that needs to happen. It's very important.
Member Gorger?
Nope, I'm with, I think it's a great idea. I've been down there a bunch to hang out, so as a kid, we'd always go down there, so great spot.
Member Carson?
No, no questions, yeah, I've been down there a bunch too, it's a beautiful piece of land and we need to preserve it for sure,
Yeah,
so.
and adding the history to it's even better.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, and I do believe we have local personal history with that, with Delane and Laura,
Mhm.
and a relative of theirs, so that would have been probably the 1897, is that right, Monty?
That is right. They are, their grandmother was one of two survivors of the last massacre. And Delane was not able to be here today. She's in St. George getting some dental work done, so wish her well. But yeah, and I think also just to respond to the members here, the tribe, it's hard to express how much they appreciate the city or county's support. When I relay this to them, it's hard for them to express how much that means to them. This is a really big deal for them, especially the elders who've been through a lot. So we certainly appreciate that, and the tribes also, have a very firm belief that this isn't just a place for the tribes. It's something that they want to include everybody in, and be able to share their culture and their history with everybody.
Wonderful. Well, we have a great relationship with our local tribe and always want to strengthen it. So I'm going to open it up to our audience. Does anyone have any questions? We actually have a National Park Service person here today with the Rivers and Trails program. And so does anyone have any questions or comments? George, can you come up here, George, and let him know who you are, and we'll flip the camera around.
Very good. Thank you, Madam Chairman. George Chachis, local resident. Several months ago, this was presented to the county commission, and I supported it. But the important thing is we don't know where that monument's going to be, area-wise. I don't know if it includes the windmill farm. I don't know if it includes Osceola Mining District. I don't know if it includes any other areas, and it's important that we know that. Not that I don't support it, but once you go to a monument, I believe there's restricted activities, and it's important that the county, the community knows where the monument area is gonna be. 25,000 is a pretty big area, and that's what the concern is. I wanna know where it's gonna be. Put it on the map, draw it out so everybody has a clear understanding. Thank you.
Thank you, George. Any other comments? Questions? Monty, we have one brochure, and we would certainly appreciate having more, but I don't know that there was an actual map in there. And so I think that's certainly a valid question on that. And so offhand, can you tell us, where the Osceola ditch is? And
It's north of the Osceola mining district. It does not include the Osceola mining district. But, I think I did share a map with possibly there might be one. If you guys didn't get that, I'm happy to, I apologize, I'm happy to share a map. 25,000 acres sounds like a lot. I mean, I live on 2.5 acres, so 25,000 sounds like a lot, but, of Spring Valley, Spring Valley itself is 1.2 million acres or thereabout, and so this is it's actually a small fraction of Spring Valley. But, it does include the cedars, the swamp cedars area that everybody knows about north of the highway. It doesn't go into the wind energy facility, It does have a couple of private in-holdings, SNWA parcels, and we talked about that with SNWA. But, this is all BLM land, and it only applies to federal land. So any private land does not apply.
That's why you put this one in, 'cause it's-
okay, I think.
So Monty, I apologize, this is Kyle. I had the maps that you gave me, But the very detailed one, I lost before the meeting, and that's why I didn't have that in the packet. So, in his defense, there is a map of the proposed area. If you want to email me that, I can get that out to the public, that's requesting it, just to see what the boundaries, proposed boundaries are.
Sure,
So-
no problem.
Okay,
Yeah, I appreciate, just wanted to say, appreciate, forget his last name, George.
Chatches,
Thank you for that, thank you for that comment and that concern, so happy to share a map.
Bill, do you have a question?
I just had a comment, Bill Wolf. 25,000 acres is about 40 square miles, which sounds huge, but if you consider from the Spring Valley Highway on the west side of the valley, across the valley over to where you hit Highway 50 is about 10 miles, and if you only go 4 miles up the valley, that's nothing. So,
Great.
And Kyle, maybe we could get a copy of that for any member of the public here that wants it.
Absolutely.
So, right now, so,
Errol,
Errol,
would you mind?
and I want to welcome Member Bullis.
Would you say?
How many would like a copy? We are just,
Let's do,
let's do 3 questions.
Gotcha.
And so we have Monty Sanford on the line, and so George just asked really good questions about the boundaries of it, or whether it be Osceola or it be the wind farm, and neither, it's all BLM land. So there's where we are with it, and so Errol is copying a map for all of us.
So did the Indian uprising in the 1890s, was that where they tried to bring over the cannon over the top of Berry Creek to get the jump on everybody down there? And that's the cannon that was, Steve redid at the state park? And it ended up over in Carson City? I think it is.
So, Monty, are you aware of what Member Goringer talked about or said?
I had a hard time hearing what you said.
Okay, but if you could do it again, Brian, please.
I'm pretty sure that last uprising there was a Civil War cannon that was brought over by a general, and they tried to bring it up over a valley next to there called Berry Creek and bring it down into that area as, to suppress the celebrations. And then the cannon was actually left, they couldn't make it, and that cannon ended up over in Carson City, and it was refurbished by our state park ranger here. Once they found it.
Wow, Steve Gray?
Steve Gray did.
Wow.
where did they find it?
They found it up in Berry Creek on North Berry Creek. Split, yep. Up in the aspens up there. And it was too heavy to bring over the pass, and they just dumped it. And I think they found it in like the 80s. Or they've heard about it, everybody's heard about it.
Yeah.
But nobody went up and actually looked at it.
Wow.
Steve did.
Okay, well, where we are right now is we are here for a discussion and possible action and approval of a letter of support, which is in the packets and it's up here for anyone, for the Shoshone tribes, and I believe you call it the Swamp Cedar Monument Proposal. Is that correct, Monty?
Yeah, officially, we're calling it the Bosawabi National Monument.
Okay.
I came in a little late to this and I apologize, but they brought this to the county commission. And Lori Carson gets the gold star for reading a little more closely, because we all missed it. They're trying to secure 26,000 acres of land, or at least they were, if this is the same thing. And in my head, when we were talking monument, I thought, oh, nice land, we're gonna build something on it, but 26,000 acres, like, is there a plan to do something? I came late, so if you guys already discussed this, I'm fine, but they didn't have an answer for why 26,000 acres when we came in, that was kind of crazy.
There is a map floating around here somewhere.
So,
maybe?
historical signage on it, and it's 25,000 acres, and we've been debating
Okay,
that, and Bill helped with that
okay.
concept, so,
You
yeah.
guys are all cool?
Yeah.
We just got blindsided by that, we're like, man, that's gonna be a huge monument, because look at 26,000 acres. So,
I think Monty was saying, as national monuments go, it's actually one of the smallest ones proposed.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know how large Basin and Range is, between, do you know how?
I don't know how big it is.
Pretty massive.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
it's like
huge.
100,
Just been scratching the surface
yeah,
of it lately.
100,000 acres or something like that.
For sure, so I would like to entertain a motion at this time, a motion of approval, after hearing all of this discussion.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, you hear a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved by Brian and seconded by Kurt. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in support, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Monty, very much. Bill?
Just as a point of interest, basin range is 704,000.
Oh,
Okay.
704,000 acres. Okay, now you know that too, Monty.
Just a drop in the.
Thank you very much. We'll move on to item 4, and we will finish up this letter, and do you want us to send it to you?
Sure, that'd be great.
Okay.
We'll get that over to you tomorrow.
Okay, number 4, discussion and for possible action, approval to allow White Pine County Tourism and Recreation to submit an application for Travel Nevada's 3D Destination Development Program. And I'll turn it over to Kyle.
Okay. So Travel Nevada is launching their long-awaited destination development program. This has been sold as kind of a doubling down on their grant program where communities are encouraged to come together on a big, kind of 20-year vision. Where do we want to be? Where do we want to go? What do we want White Pine County to look and function as, not just from a tourism standpoint, but from a community member standpoint as well. And so representatives came out 2 weeks ago, pitched the entire idea, which is essentially 2 years of consulting, marketing resources, design resources, you name it. They essentially adopt your community for 2 years and infuse it in developing the details of this vision. This is a no-match grant, so this isn't at any cost to any organization here. It's truly you're selling your community's vision. At the end of that 2-year plan, they've got, I believe, EDA money to go towards actually implementing what you've come up with over the last 2 years. So they don't, it's not just we're gonna consult and give you this plan, but taking into account what we're working on with Brandon, what we've been doing in developing our attractions, our community around those attractions. It really, everything we've been doing for the last 5 years has been working towards continuing on down in this direction. And so at the state level, having that recognition and having their resources essentially would be a huge boost to getting this community up and over, So it is a community-driven effort, and so on Wednesday, tomorrow, starting at 6 o'clock, we are gonna have a community stakeholder meeting in the back rooms to start coming up with what does this proposal look like, and I'll be the one writing the proposal on behalf of the community. It's a very quick turnaround. It's gotta be due by the end of October, so there's gonna be a lot of community engagement, coming up with a vision of where we wanna be, and if they like it, then we get adopted. If they don't like it, then we still keep moving in that same direction. And but I think we had probably 50 people show up to the presentation on it, and I think everybody who was in that room left convinced that we would be a front runner considering everything that's happened over the last 5 years. So
We thought we were.
we thought we were.
Yes.
We like ourselves that way.
So just the other part of it that I believe is that at the end of when we develop the plan, if we're selected, there's a $2 million pot that can be split up to 6 communities. So that's a pretty sizable, without any match, because everything that we apply for has to have a match, which is a problem, so.
Right.
So your request is that White Pine County Tourism and Recreation would be the grant lead on this for White Pine County, and it will include Baker, Glen, McGill, Ruth,
All the communities,
Park.
the park, all of it, the big picture. And it won't just be recreation, it'll be arts, it'll be marketing, looking at, because we had talked about not just surveys,